Let's bring in Bill O'Reilly, who you normally see at this time as the host of the O'Reilly Factor. We're also joined by syndicated columnist, Fox News contributor, Dr. Charles Krauthammer. Bill, your take about where we are and what we're seeing.
Well, Trump's competing pretty well, I think, across the board. But the army of people that his campaign expected to come out that were disassociated with polling and things like that, that hasn't materialized. But, you know, the Florida thing, he's got a chance to win Florida because of the panhandle vote. In Ohio, it's hard to tell because we don't know where the votes are coming from right now. North Carolina, a little dicier for Trump there. But he's competing in Virginia, although Northern Virginia usually comes in later, and then that'll sweep Hillary Clinton. But I think that at this point, it'd be foolish to make any kind of broad assessment of what the vote's going to turn out to be. It doesn't look like there's going to be any shocking upsets or shocking vote tallies anywhere. It's a slug out right now, and Trump needs it all to go in his favor. So, Charles Krauthammer, dude, I make any mistakes? You're my guy, always trying to keep me on the straight and narrow. Did I say anything wrong?
So much error, so little time. So, look, at this point, I think the trends of the sort of the general analyses about the favorable ratings would tend towards Clinton. She actually beats Trump in the exit polls on honest and trustworthy, which is a pretty odd finding, and it's at odds with the latest in the polls. I think what's really interesting is, I think it was noted a little earlier, is that Trump got 27, 28% of the Hispanic vote, which is almost exactly what Romney got. I think the big difference is that there appears to have been an enormous increase in the registration of Hispanics. So they turned out, and it's the turnout in very high numbers, which I think is so damaging to Trump right now.
But you're not seeing any kind of sweep in Florida, for example, a heavy Hispanic state.
Yeah, but
and it's very, very possible.
But there just aren't enough Hispanics.
Very possible Trump could win Florida.
But there just aren't enough Hispanics in Florida or elsewhere to turn a big advantage into a sweep of the state. We always knew it was going to be close, and right now it's hard to say how it'll end up, but she's slightly ahead. And for her,
yeah, but I don't
for
think,
her, this is not a
I don't think Trump is
underperforming.
State. Right. See, I don't think Trump is underperforming. I don't think he's overperforming. And as Brit Hume pointed out, if he doesn't overperform in some place like Michigan or Pennsylvania, she'll win. He's got to overperform in one of those key states. But he's not underperforming, even though some of the exit polling is dubious on his behalf. Would you cede me that?
Look, Bill, underperforming in this election is not reaching 270. So that's the only underperformance that matters. You want to compare it to the latest exit polls or the latest polling that was done on the eve of the election, that's fine. But the fact is that he has to carry the big three swing states, Florida, North Carolina, and Ohio, and to penetrate the blue wall. Right now, that looks like a distant prospect.
Which state do you think that Hillary Clinton will take out of those three?
I think it's likely she'll take Florida, and it's a toss-up whether she takes North Carolina. Ohio, I think he has the edge, but again, she doesn't have to have all these states.
Well, where do you think her strength is going to come in Florida? It's pretty much a dead heat now, and then the northern counties in the central time zone are the ones that remain to be counted, and they're all, that's Trump territory. So how is she going to win that state?
I think it's a 2% lead now, and with over 80% of the vote in, that is not a dead heat. It's a substantial advantage.
Okay, I don't have that latest information. You know.
Yeah, well, it helps to have it.
Clinton is up by 2 in Florida right now as we speak?
I think it was 49 to 47, something like that. We can verify that.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, then the better odds are that she'll win. But remember, that is Trump territory up in the north in the central time zone.
Okay.
In the overall overarch of the vote, has anything surprised you?
What surprises me is the two main issues that propelled Trump's campaign that won him the nomination, and that people were looking to say there's sort of an ideological revolution going on in the country, and that is immigration and trade. What is very striking about the exit polling is that on immigration, the country is roughly 3-to-1 for legalization, which you wouldn't have known by looking simply at the primaries. But even more interesting is the one where people think there was more of a national consensus to overturn the general consensus over the last 50 years on trade, and that is hostility to trade. The exit polling shows only a 3-point spread between those people who think that trade is costing us the jobs and those who are giving us jobs. And that, I think, sort of undermines the idea that the country as a whole has turned against it. If you look at it, it's basically 2-to-1 against trade on the Republican side, roughly 2-to-1 in favor on the Democratic side, which means we are not necessarily headed into a Brexit-type, economic isolationist type consensus in the country.
No, because it's
and
not
that's
stark.
very different from what
right.
we had thought. Trump wrote it in the primaries because he discerned it as the
right.
issue in his constituency, but it does not extend far beyond it. And those, I think, are the two most striking findings in the election.
So you're going to make a prediction that Clinton's the next president?
If you force me, I'll take it.
All right, Charles Krauthammer. Now we throw it back to our election guys, and we appreciate you having us in. Thank you.
All right, Bill, thank you. I didn't get the prediction. What did you